All right, so test 4 here. Combine like terms when you're solving the equation. Then I subtracted x from both sides. That's how I got the 12x. Subtracted 33 from both sides. That's how I get the big fat negative 36. It's 12 times x, so the opposite of that would be divide. So I divided by 12 on each side. And that's how I get x all by itself is negative 3. Checking it, you just plug it in, your answer in for the x and the x and the x. That's what I did here. And then I simplified it. I got negative 6 is equal to negative 6, so it works. Oh, here we go. Distribute this negative. So that's negative 8x minus a negative 2x gives me negative 8x plus 2x, which is negative 6. Negative, negative makes that a positive. Combine these like terms. Many people lost their negative here. That's where most people made their mistakes. I added 6x to both sides of the equal sign, and that's how I got the 2x. Added 7 to both sides, so I got the 20. Divide by 2, I got my x equals 10. 7 out of 34, 7 out of 34 is something out of 1740. You just multiply by 1740 on each side, and you get that decimal answer, but you can't have 0.2 of a person, so you round it. Find the algebraic rule. I added 4 each time, each figure. So to go backwards, you would subtract 4, and that leaves you just 2 here. So it started off with 2. It's changing by 4 each time. You're adding 4, add 4, add 4, add. It's adding 4 multiple times, so that's multiplication. And that's why it's 4x. 500, plug it in for the x, and it gives you 2002. F of negative 5 means plug in the negative 5 for the x. Use parentheses and it'll help you avoid mistakes. Negative 5 squared is 25. 25 times that negative 3 is negative 75. Negative times a negative makes that a positive. When you combine those, you get 55. Y equals 2 times the x minus 5. If I shove in 0, 0 times 2 is gone. That gives me my negative 2, or negative 5. So it's 0, negative 5, dot. Plug in 1. 1 times 2 is 2, minus 5 is negative 3. 1, negative 3. Plug in 2. 4 minus 5 is negative 1. 2, negative 1. And then you just draw your line. When I see a squared there, I know it's going to be a parabola. So I'm looking for the vertex as I'm plotting points. So when I plugged in 0, y equals the x squared plus 2 times the x minus 6. I plug in 0 and 0, I get negative 6 out. 0, negative 6. Plug in 1. 1 and 1 here, so that gives me a 2. So 1 plus 2 is 3 minus the 6 is negative 3. So 1, negative 3. Plug in 2. 4 plus 4 is 8. Minus 6 is 2. 2, 2. I can see it's going up, so I needed to figure out a negative 1. So I plug in a negative 1. That gives me a 1. Minus 2. Minus 6. So that gives me a negative 7. So a negative 1, negative 7. Plug in my negative 2. Gives me a 4. Gives me a negative 4, and I get a negative 6 out. Negative 2, negative 6. I can see the vertex. So I just match those points up. Make sure they're symmetrical. Slope and y-intercept. Here's my slope. Y-intercept. Forget to write it as a point. Negative 7 is a dot. 0, negative 7. Slope is 3/4, so I go up 3 over 4. Up 3 over 4. Or go negative, negative, and I still get a positive slope because a negative divided by a negative is still a positive. The slope is negative 3. 0, 5. Start at 0, 5. Go down 3 and over 1. Down 3 over 1. Down 3 over 1. Oh, look. Y-intercept's at -3. The slope goes 1 and over 4. So that's 1. Rise over the run. Rise over the run. And it's going downhill. So that's a negative slope. We read from left to right. You read the line from left to right. It's going down. Rises 3, runs over 2. Rise over run. It's going positive. And it intersected the y-axis at 2.